All right, what's going on, family, friends, leaders, followers, and everybody around the wherever you are. Yeah, who knows? Maybe I'll reach another universe one day. A lot happens within the course of one video. Last I chatted, I was bashing my fellow brethrens and Christians in Christ, and now I'm going to come to you from a completely different standpoint. What is the video title? Yeah, I actually already thought of a title for it, and it's great because I wanted to open up with it. Of course I didn't remember, but Apolo GEEZ. This is getting annoying. Probably, hopefully entertaining for you guys. Dare I say any of you are taking some form of education from my videos. I don't know. I don't think, education's almost to each their own in some sense. I can go on let's say universal truths, or more so than that, subjective truths, right? I've often talked about subjective truths from time to time. A lot of times it's like in the gym, exercising, diet. Everybody's diet is different. Everybody's body type is different. So what's right for one person is not necessarily going to be right for the other. There are many fundamental laws and truths about this world that I don't think I'm ready, or I'm not, like, I shouldn't be talking about. There are things out there like law of attraction, like I would say Jesus and God, but man, if there's a debate when it gets into that. But yeah, I want to touch base on a lot of things. There's a lot going on. It's only been less than a week. It's been like 5 days. It's Tuesday, March 7, 8, 9, 12. Oh my gosh, I have no idea what the day is, or the date. Then I just wrote it down. Maybe March 11th, actually. Maybe 13th. Who knows? Sorry. Anyway, I'm a little bit amped up right now. I haven't really taken too much caffeine. I only had one energy drink, and that was earlier today. I'm doing tree work almost consistently based off of the weather. Other than that, indoor is painting. We've got walls coming down in the house. We're doing all the work that is supposed to be done in the house that I'm living out of. So lots going on, and that's just work. Relationship. Where do I want to go? Yeah, relationship-wise, my gym bros are at like the top of my list. I love my family. My family's doing great. I'm getting in touch with my bro, expressing, questioning things, getting insight about any topics, just all sorts of things. Today's was a video. I cannot recall. Actually, I can. I think it's something like She Reds is his YouTube name. I don't know his name. I only popped up once. She Reds, like with a Z or something, a couple E's in there. He made a video on a book called Masculine Christianity, and I'm going to get the book, right? I have to read it. But many topics, everything from toxic masculinity to feminism, the rise, how to be a man, or what it means to be a strong man. Strength comes in all shapes and sizes, and definitions, character traits. I won't go into it. I'm sorry. Maybe that's for another video. I talk about that plenty enough. But I'm getting insight with family. I'm getting insight with people. Future video to come. My second podcast soon to come. I don't know if I should save the name, but it is with a very dear family member of mine, and it came to me in during work. We had a snowstorm over the weekend. Really, I don't want to say really impactful or anything. It wasn't crazy, like 6 to 12 inches, but impactful to me spiritually, because as I was driving on the last night, cleanup night, I happened to take a back road instead of the highway. The back road that I took just so happened to lead me not just through the woods. I wanted to go through just like a darker. I didn't want to be around cars at the moment, and I decided to go through like what I knew was going to be like Cuyahoga Falls, right? Cuyahoga Falls, Boston Mills sort of area, and I ended up passing Appalachian Outfitters. For those of you that don't know, I went on a journey. I went on a nice little walking spree from my living state in Ohio down to Florida. Shot straight down, packed my bags. I didn't even own a bag. I was dropped off at Appalachian Outfitters, which is just a nice, outdoor product sales, right? So tents, backpacks, boots, and all that sort of survival gear. Bought a backpack. I had brought bare essentials. I did not own a sleeping bag. Did not even buy a tent. It was September, August, end of August, and packed that bag that I bought and left. Didn't tell a soul, except for the person that dropped me off. But I passed that place and I broke down. I just broke down. It was great. And I was building up because I knew where I was. I was recognizing signs. I was by the Canal bypass. Right? I was by the bypass and just rolling through roads that I had just, I knew, I recognized. This was at night, right? Dead night, dark, and I just, when you say you like feel, right? Like blind people don't see anything, but they use their other senses, right? I had this intuition, I had this feeling that something close by, something, I didn't know that Appalachian Outfitters was around the corner, but I was just driving, and on the way there, things were just coming up, just thoughts in my head. My walk to Florida didn't even come up yet, but it just like I started pouring my heart out to God and just praying for just things, just clarity, direction, discipline, in all these areas of my life that I've just been lacking. Right? Pray to be a better prayer, right? Because I'm not even that good of a prayer. Like, I love listening to people that can really speak and pray just from the heart, but I'm not that good, and I just started speaking my heart out, and lo and behold, it hit me the second I passed that store, that it's time to get in touch with my past, get in touch and open and express it, and I'm getting chills. I'm getting goosebumps. But it led to me texting my dad. Part of my prayer was, God, I said something along the lines of like, I need to, I don't want to say bring light, but I need to express more to you, right? I'm speaking to God. I need to express more to you. I need to open up, and I need to figure out what it is that I'm here for, and I need to, I forgot exactly my wordage, but it's funny because more or less, I have been struggling, obviously because I am recently sober again. These past year and a half has just been up and down. But when I get sober, for the first like, just to break it down, the first 3 days, I don't exist. My brain has no thought. Like, I have a bad memory months after being sober. Years, I'll assume, because I've never been that long. But 3 days, like the first week is just death, right? Those of you that know what I'm talking about, those of you that can attest, know what I'm talking about, right? And it's been like a month and a half, maybe 2. I don't even know anymore. Like, I just don't care. But I'm still not feeling don't get me wrong. I am praying every day. I am reading as much as I can. And I'm fully wrapped around the presence of God. Like, I am trying my best to just every 5-10 minutes, just something about God. Like, just think a thought about God, you know? And more so than not, meaning almost never for the past 2 months, I just don't feel a presence. I don't hear a voice more so than not. Like, I know that God is always there. I know that His presence is everywhere. But to be directed, to have a sense of clarity, to have a sense of, direction, being pulled in a way that I know what I want to do, right? Before I even got sober, I actually had this tug, and it was to go join the gym, right? I had to get into a gym. I wasn't even sober, but I felt that call. Whether it was from God Himself, I don't know. I'd like to think so, because I gotta give credit to someone. It ain't certainly me. It certainly ain't me. But anyway, I felt that calling, and I had to go to the gym. Went to the gym, and every single day it's just been absolute nuts. Been absolute crazy. 4 or 5 hours a day, every day. I haven't even told you the main point. No, I have not. But essentially, I have not felt that pull, that sense of tug in a specific direction. I've been praying, give me direction, give me clarity, give me a sense of purpose towards something, you know? I have no idea what to do. I really just don't know what to do anymore. I'm doing things, but whether or not it's like for God, I don't know. It's just things that I know I should do, like work. I know I need to work. I know I need to go to church. I know I need to, talk to family and be, with people. But whether or not I'm doing it like in God's will, right? Whether it's God's actual will to do every single thing that I'm doing, no idea. So what I did was I texted my dad. Go figure. I texted my father. And I told him straight up, I'm like, yeah, so I just passed Appalachian Outfitters. And I told him I felt that it was time to release the story, but I just I had no clue where to begin. I just don't know where to begin. And my dad is a pretty wise man, right? We're Wizenhunts. We are. I always liked our last name because we've always been, everybody butchers our last name. Wizenhunt for day in and day out. Wizards, wisdom. I'm a dumb whiz. Don't get me wrong. But it's just ironic. My dad is extremely wise, and he said something that just hit me so hard, and he said it so soft and gentle. It was a text message, but I just knew that what I had to do was right. But he texted me and said, my text was, I'm ready to release my story. I just don't know how. And he knows I make videos, he knows I film, but I just don't know how to release my story. He's like, well, I could give you some pointers, but I don't really know your story. So I don't really know what to tell you. That's what he said. That's what he said. So, lo and behold, gonna make a podcast with the father. You're darn right. It's gonna be kick-ass. It's gonna be awesome. I personally think it's going to be what blows, or at least what gets people to maybe take something from my channel that's actually educational rather than like entertainment, right? But yeah, I am looking forward to it with every ounce of energy in my heart. Like, I can't wait. I thought of a handful. I already know what we're going to talk about. We're going to start with the walk to Florida. And he's like, yeah, because I kept on texting him afterwards, and I'm like, dude, I don't even know where to begin. I asked him if we could film it. He's totally down. He's down. I don't know how totally he is, but he's okay with it. He knows that it's more or less an expression of my story, and he's there to guide and kind of lead in a sense of fatherhood in a way. So he's agreed to film it, and where am I trying to go? Yeah. So the walk to Florida, I told him straight up. He's like, I'm like, I don't even know where to begin. I really couldn't even tell you where to begin. He's like, well, start where you feel comfortable, right? And I knew that I had just passed, the store where I left for Florida, and it kind of just hit me. I don't know if it carried over from that, but it kind of hit me at the time, because when I left, I was currently living at home. I was living at home with, was I? Yeah, I was living at home with my father, pretty darn sure. May have been living, no, I wasn't. It was right before I had transitioned living quarters, right? So when I came back from Florida, I had moved back home. But essentially, I didn't tell anybody, right? I told nobody. And it hit me in the sense that it is a perfect starting point, in that, you've got books like Mastery by Robert Greene. You've got The Alchemist. And you've got, like, the Bible. How often do you hear or read things about the child breaking away from the father/parents, and going out into the world, becoming a man, right? So be prepared, folks. It's gonna be good. I didn't even talk about anything that I wanted to. Shoot, man. So I gotta apologize. Essentially, there's our man. So it's gym time, and it's going great, kind of. I'm training others. I think we might start bringing guys into the gym. I'm trying to, but it's totally up to the trainees to allow that to happen. So I'm just going to go ahead and pause this here. I got to get to the training, and I might just pause this rather than make another video. I do have many more topics to talk about. My prioritization is not that great. My workload is definitely increasing, but I have not yet planned out exactly how to take care of everything. So as you can see, I've got to film on the way to the gym. I might even start filming in the gym. I got so much to do. I'm eating on the way to the gym. But yeah, stay tuned. Lots to come. More to follow. Bless up. Live expressively, folks. Peace. All right. To stick with the motto or theme of the title video, which will be dubbed Apolo GEEZ. Louise. Yeah, this is getting old. I am not really... Actually scrolled once, and I don't know who it was, but it was a really different approach to apologizing. And I don't know if it was just like a quick one, right? It's going to like a 10-second thing. But it was a podcast, right? And the interviewer asked the gentleman, so you never really apologize. You never apologize, and you don't apologize anymore, right? And the guy says, no. And he responded with his truth, saying, if you are wrong about something, or you do something, let's say you're wrong about like a thought that you have towards something, like something you say, right? Or you're wrong about something that you did, apologizing may not be the necessary way to go. Admitting that you're wrong and asking for forgiveness, not that you should even have to, right? Because the other person should naturally forgive. But admitting that you're wrong is as far as you need to go. Problem is, I'm not even sure I'm there yet. will continue with this video in a sense where it's tapering off of the lukewarm, right? Lukewarm Christians, right? Got a couple videos on those already, and I tend to harp, or I tend to come from a different standpoint. Like I even mentioned in my last one that I do not identify as a Christian, where the definition, however, was I don't know if it's my own definition, but essentially I like the idea or the term Christian being identified as Christ-like, and I went from the approach of saying like I'm like not even close to Christ-like. That's very subjective in a way, right? But in a sense, I don't want to be seen or viewed from the public as some high and mighty, know-it-all Jesus follower. So from those that don't understand from those that don't understand God or Jesus or the Bible, right? You don't understand the Bible, and I don't want to say don't understand because, you know, what Christian fully understands? That don't believe, right? If you are an unbeliever, some of the unbelievers tend to have a viewpoint on the Christians and Christianity, as well as all religions, but more or less Christianity, where some of them, and I can't argue with the fact that some Christians seem to come off. Now, this is obviously just a not judgment. I hope it's not a judgment, but it's how their character seems to come off, right? It seems more so than not where the Christians seem to judge at times, right? They'll use the Bible to downtrodden someone's actions. And when I say use the Bible, they say use the what not to do's, right? You shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that. The Bible says that you should act like this. Telling that to the people, telling that to a sinner is more or less the biggest turnoff to an atheist. Telling that to a sinner is a turnoff to the sinner, because sinners, another entity, another distractive thought in my head concerning Joel Osteen and that another scrolling video where he said most sinners know that they're sinners, and they don't need Christians to shove that in their face with the "see, I told you so, you shouldn't have done that," right? See, you're wrong. The Bible says this, you shouldn't have done that. The sinners, now there was another video where, you know, that opposed the Mr. Osteen's viewpoint, where say sinners have no clue when they do something wrong. I actually tend to argue, but I mean in a different stance. I'm also not an atheist, right? I'm also a very, I don't want to say very well conscious, aware individual. But quite honestly, my gut, my brain, my body, something tells me when I have done something wrong. I call it faith. I call it God, right? You can call it gut, you can call it intuition, your instincts, but I am under the impression that when I do something wrong, my body somehow gets, I like to use the word traumatized. It's a big word. You know, it gets depressed, it gets anxious, it gets stressed, it gets broken down in a way that just does not feel good, right? I like Eliot's quote on depression, Eliot Hulse, on depression, when he says, you're either doing something you know you shouldn't be doing, or you're not doing something you know you should be doing. And then the body tends to close down, right? And that's just not what the body was made to do. So when I sin, it's not like I always know, But more so than not, I can realize that, man, I'm just not doing it right. So my last video wasn't necessarily accurate in the sense of perhaps I am actually judging Christians as a whole, as far as because a lot of it's like my own personal trauma. So I've got to get vulnerable here while I don't want to say apologize, but while giving credit, not maybe credit, but forgiveness. Yeah, forgiving the Christians for my issues, right? My problems, because technically I had, let's say, judged Christians. So I need to kind of wrap this all together. So my trauma says this is where I come from in a wrong standpoint, right? I have grown up around many Christians, right? I grew up in the church, and I've known many Christ-like individuals. And what I've learned from the Bible may not be inaccurate. I don't know a whole lot about the Bible, but it's not like. But the things that I have learned is how to be a good Christian, how to be Christ-like. And when Christians are not acting Christ-like, I tend to feel because it's not as accurate, like downtrodden or even judged, right? Because quite honestly, I could coin myself the weirdo, the crazy guy, unique, maybe not special, but definitely a little different. I have many, right? I have sins that I think are unforgivable, right? My sexuality, I don't think is necessarily changeable, right? Like, I used to think that I just can't change my sexuality / what I'm attracted to. I think very differently nowadays. However, it's a very difficult sin to keep myself accountable to, right? And it's not that my sexuality is the sin, but it's my action upon said sexuality, right? Lust is lust. It is what it is. And it's automatic, right? Man or woman. They say man lusts, let's just say, use the word more, but it's very difficult. If you got high testosterone, it's I think it's more, it's gotta be, like we talked about, universal truths. Like, if you got high T, lust is probably a difficult sin for you to get over, right? I think it's just like a universal truth. I can't guarantee, but it's like, it's got to be there. And beyond the lust aspect, I have, Animal Crossing the road. I feel that I need to change what I'm attracted to, which means I have to watch the style of relationships that I get into and all this weird combobulated crap. And these thoughts, this form of thinking, this self-sabotaging or this self-imposed thinking has made it such that I judge others in how they respond to my character, which is bad, false, right? It's still false. But I can't say it's wrong in that my growing as a human being, my growth in character is bad, because I actually like where I've gotten to. I can't really regret, aside from what you may have seen in videos past. I used to say I hate my capital S self. you know? Getting over it day by day. Self-love is definitely important. Let's see. So, self-forgiveness goes hand in hand with forgiving others. So I want to say I forgive Christians for not accepting my character. I do. I completely do. Do I need to go into more trauma as far as judging Christians? Maybe a little. Especially elders, right? I actually put more of an emphasis on like adult Christians because you're adults and you should be in the game. You've been in the game longer and you should be able to approach, you should be able to approach my character if you see me struggling. Also not true. Why? Or how do I know? Because as a 35 going on 36-year-old man, young man, I find it now more difficult to approach people in the gym about, let's say, exercise and fitness and diet when I know something's wrong, right? It's very difficult for me to call out people in the gyms and say, dude, I think you need to change this or change your form or fix this or something like that. It's way more difficult now. Even though I've grown in, let's say, knowledge, experience, understanding, wisdom, whatever you want to call it. Not that I'm tooting a horn, but to ground it, just say experience, right? Because experience could be better, experience could be failure or success. And that's more subjective. Knowledge, wisdom, and understanding is a little bit more tangible and relatable. So I understand if it's difficult for even elders to approach, younger people about their issues. So I forgive. Christians. I forgive people. It's very important that we get here. And it's not that they are doing anything wrong. It's just a difficult game for us all. It's that simple. It's a difficult game for everybody. And I am no better than anyone, right? I'm no better than the atheist. That's why I put myself on that level of not being a Christian on my last video. Right? I'm no better than anyone. I would rather lower myself. I would rather lower my standard. Rather put other people on a pedestal to give you that extra benefit of knowledge or whatever, understanding. I would rather take something from you rather than leave the conversation giving the last point, right? I think I made that point in my last video as well. So that was pretty good, right? I think forgiveness, yeah. So no apologies. I'm not apologizing, but I am definitely saying I am wrong in the action of judging others based on their so-called self-imposed labels. So when you call yourself a Christian, I end up putting my own definition, even though it's not necessarily subjective. Christian is very linear, right? The Bible says what it is. And when you use that label, I almost have expectations for you. That's why I just don't like labels, right? I don't want to be labeled something because I don't want I don't want you to think that I have this knowledge or experience, right? So to transition to a little bit more funner topics, not transition. Are we good? Are we clear? Christians, I still love you. I still love everybody. But I have felt more, maybe not judgment, but condemnation right? I think I feel a lot more condemnation from a lot of Christians these days than I do like your non-Christians, right? Because non-Christians, don't necessarily consider the repercussions of so-called sin, and because you don't consider the repercussions, you end up sinning more, and in turn, life sucks. And then you develop this almost forgiveness attitude, right? Atheists can be just as forgiving or kind or loving as Christians, if not more so, right? I've found it confusing when I see people that don't believe in God are so kind and loving and caring. And it's like, wait a minute, where are you missing the point? Where are you getting off being so nice, but you don't believe in the power of where forgiveness and where this whole loving concept comes from, right? And I know that there is more there. I know there's a lot more to it. Like, I know an atheist will argue where it comes from. I think differently on it. That's it for another video. Just wait. Anyway, so to keep on, I honestly can't even remember where I left off with before I started this session. Going into, I think I was talking just about how crazy life is. Oh, Dad and I are going to make a podcast, and things are going nuts, and can't even prioritize things nowadays. It's great that I am struggling to keep up with my physical routine in the gym, right? And for good reason, right? I made it a goal and have been doing very well at hitting that goal of going into the gym with the impression that I am not there for myself. Those are bright lights. I need my glasses. I am not in the gym to exercise for myself. I will exercise to stay busy and stay active, but I am there solely based on the purpose of supporting others, keeping people accountable. I think it is probably the best thing. I don't want to say the only thing, but yeah, the best aspect that I took from my training in England, right? So 35 now, 6 years. Yeah, 6 years ago. Yeah, 6 years ago, I had the pleasure of interning, right? Just an internship, no paid, no nothing. Lived at the gym owner's place. And another story for the books, folks. But I interned at a gym where I had after not being a trainer for 29 minus 23, so after 6 years of not personal training, but just educating myself, going through both strength camp and functional patterns, learning the foundations of my new training principles, training parameters, I was able to go over there and become a certified, literally, I actually had to get it, certified personal trainer, and teach people. Best thing I took from the gym, best thing I took from it, accountability. Fitness or exercise and diet are cornerstones, but it is just as symbolic as the Trinity, Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Diet, exercise, accountability, right? I was missing that concept, or I had forgotten that concept over the years of the importance of accountability, having someone else in your corner. Now, I had started in the gym, back in the day, asking for help, and receiving it for many years, right? It started at 19. I was a late bloomer in the gym, folks. Started at like 19, right before I went overseas. And stuck with that routine hardcore. I only stuck with it for 4 years, right? I was just all 100% all in gym. And that was right up until I carried it over into much more educational based. And then that transferred into needing cash. So I had to double up on work, triple up on work. At 23, I was personally training. I was in the military. I was working 2 jobs. And I was going to school, right? 90 hours. Guys, 90-hour work weeks. 90, boys and girls. Not every week, right? That was the most. So on weekends that I had drill, I would be working 90 to 110, right? Because you don't go to sleep on those drill weekends. You're up for 3 days, plain and simple, and then you go home and you work your 80-hour work weeks. So nuts back in the day. And then I way overtrained and way overexerted, and I just slowly digressed, and went purely educational. And at 24, I would get very introverted. Now, I was living on my own at the age of 22, but got very introverted at around 26. So I would live on my own, but people would come and go, right? Relationships would be, now I don't want to say lukewarm, right? That's just the worst example. I've actually built one of the best relationships at that age. But I would have relationships, but how about this? Not gym partners, right? I wasn't necessarily in the gym at like 24, 25, 26, right? So 26, I would start doing the walks. I would go out and be introverted, right? It'd be just all on my own, right? I would be independent at the max, right? And those walks, those experiences, those travels, my bouts of traveling, wherever I went, would lead to just introvertedness, right? I would be introverted for a decade, right? I'm 35 now, and I just now came back into the gym with the concept, with the actual goal of supporting others, actually supporting others, and keeping people accountable. That's what it purely is for me. Because I don't need. Hold on, I'm parking. And my vehicle only has like a foot of room of layaway for the garage door to close. So yeah, I gotta take it slow. Anyway, I'm gonna keep this on. I'm gonna keep on going just a little bit more. Even though I'm starving, it's 11:45. By the way, it's either the 11th or the 12th. I questioned if it was 11th, but I think somebody either disagreed or agreed and said it was the 12th of Tuesday. Yeah. Anyway, so, man, I'm throwing a lot out today. Introverted for at least a decade. I gained an education and experience nonetheless. But it did not come without its sacrifice of relationships. And I'm realizing that I have the worst ability, not time, because it's amazing connecting with people. But I'm terrible at it. Horrendous, guys. There's a reason I make these. All right, I'm not a YouTuber. All right, no labels here. I'm not a YouTuber. I don't make money from my videos because nobody's watching them. Right? I've been vlogging for 15 years. Vlogging is just a storyline That's all it is. I'm talking to a piece of plastic. It's not real. Sometimes I wish there was somebody. I wish there was somebody just right here listening to it all. That's changing. That's coming. It's very, very soon. I can tell. Pretty soon I'm going to start asking clients. I shouldn't have used that word. Yeah, because I want to work out with people. I want to be the workout partner rather than the personal trainer. Yeah. I'm not getting paid yet. I just said yet. I mean, that's kind of the goal. I'm not getting paid. However, I've had 3 individuals, including a gentleman from today, ask for support. I know how difficult it can be. It's just as difficult to ask for support than it is for me to give pointers, right? How-tos and whatnot. Like, I'm terrible at it. Like I said, I just don't like judging people and how they're doing things. Because I don't know what your goals are. I don't know what you're doing. I have no idea. So in order for me to judge, assume, or to give what am I looking for here? Give advice, I have to know the character. I have to know who I'm talking to, right? And that takes kind of a minute in the gym if you're trying to give words of advice. But I'm doing better at it. I know there's a whole lot of gray there. Like, technically you can do it really well. If you're really good at if you're good at socializing, it is not bad. It is not wrong to judge initially on someone's ability or inability to do something. Let's just take the gym example. To do, let's say, a specific movement and to make pointers, right? It's not wrong at all. It's how you go about doing it. And I just struggle at calling people out and be like, dude, hold on, before you injure yourself, right? But yeah, hats off to the individuals that have approached me and have asked for help. I know how hard it can be. I do. And I'm all for it. I love it. It's absolutely amazing. It's so good. I mean, all glory to, yeah, it's amazing. It was at least, it was probably, I would be back. I would not doubt it if it was close to a half-hour talk in the bathroom. And it always feels weird too. And not weird, but it's like, I love it how it happens that way too. Like, I always use the example of, let's have a sauna chat, right? Sauna chats are where it's really at, right? Because, everything's just draining out of you. And it's like, you're not just, when you communicate with somebody, you're coming to an understanding by bouncing off ideas, concepts, beliefs that you have. And then more so than not, if you're not agreeing with each other, you're doing the exact opposite, which means that somebody ends up learning something, and that can be draining, right? So it's like sauna chats, if done appropriately to the point where you're bouncing off ideas, or you're what am I talking about here, right? You're learning things from other people, are like, wow, draining, so physically and emotionally, mentally draining. So I think it's just kind of funny. But yeah, bathroom chat was like a half hour long, and it was just a debunking just fitness and diet, common things. So yeah, training session tomorrow, someone brand new. More to follow, folks. More to follow. So much to do. I got so much going on. I think I already went over most. I'm going to cut it right there. Live expressively, eat expressively, lift expressively. That's enough expressions for one day.